What's going on, everybody? Y'all know what it is. It's your boy Pitts, Pitt Sports Zone, Pitts and Foot Sports Talk Radio, Bowie TV coming to you live. Listen, through the eye of the Tiger, Coach Bernard Clark Jr. We already talked last week. We talked mindset. This week we talking instruction, but it's game day. We got Edinboro in the house, first home game. What you got for me today, Coach?
I'm excited. The only thing I'm not excited about is sitting around for the next 7 hours waiting for the game to start. But other than that, man, we're ready to go. I thought we had a good week of practice. You know, the guys fought hard. They understand where we are in the process of what we need to do, and they're starting to enjoy the process and the instructions were put out there. So let's make sure they have the right mindset to get it doing, man. How you doing today, my man?
I'm good, man. I am good. I'm blessed. My feet hit the ground, man. I'm super excited for today, man. I'm super excited. I'm super excited because I don't know. I just feel it. I feel like today's, it's gonna be that 1-1. We're gonna level the playing field today and get that, first home game. It'd be even better. We get that first victory. I feel it. Yeah. I don't know about you. I'm excited about football today. You thought I was playing today.
My whole thing is like I talked about all week long, Pitch, man. The consistency is what I'm looking for today, man. We got to make sure we can sustain everything we started in the first quarter. We want to make sure things are going the way they need to go. So from that first kickoff, I'm going to be pumped about us doing the same thing in the fourth quarter that we're doing in the first quarter. I always tell the guys, you got a guy that runs a 4-4, runs a 4-5 or whatever in the first quarter. Okay, what do you do in the fourth quarter?
Yeah.
That's what's important to me. Let's sustain that same energy. Let's be have the same amount of endurance in the fourth quarter that we have in the first quarter. And that's what I'm looking forward to seeing if we're going to be able to do that, because that's what hurt us in the first game. We weren't able to sustain that energy, sustain that level of confidence and endurance in the fourth quarter. So that's what I'm looking for. So am I excited? I'm absolutely excited for the game. I'm definitely pumped and ready to go. The thing is, I want to make sure we're doing the things we need to do to become a great football team.
And because I want to touch on something you said, but I also want to shoot this plug out there. I think I seen somewhere on your social media site that it said the first 500 students in free. So listen, Robert Morris University students, don't think you got time. If I was you, I would go down there, I would get my ticket, I would have them stamp my hand, and then I would go about my business and come back for the game. That's just me. But
coming from Pitts, baby. Coming from
that's
Pitts.
Just me.
He knows what he's talking about.
But so one thing you just alluded to, and you said in our last interview, you said that you guys weren't able to sustain that energy in the fourth quarter. How is that something that how do you coach that up? How do you teach that? Or is that something that it comes as the season goes along?
I think it comes as the season goes along, but also as a coach, you can't lose the same enthusiasm. The same enthusiasm you have in the first quarter, you got to have in the fourth quarter, because they got to be able to see it in you also. The thing that's important is for them to understand that, hey, man, this is going to happen in the fourth quarter. So when the fourth quarter gets here and everybody throws up the four fingers and everybody's ready to go, it ain't about throwing up the four fingers. It's about having that same amount of energy and sprinting back on the field and sprinting back out there and getting things going, sprinting from one end to the field to the other. That's when you know the guys are ready to go, because their mindset is, we got this fourth quarter.
How has the mindset been since we spoke on Thursday, the follow-up from Friday? How has the players' attitude been since we last spoke?
It's been real good, to be totally honest with you. And I think a lot of that piss has to do with the fact that our guys are healthy. We're going to this game, just as healthy as we were in the first game. And I think that's what has a lot to do with it. They feel good about their bodies. We did a good job of keeping them where they needed to be and keeping them off the ground when they need to be off the ground in a training camp. I think our guys' minds are ready and they're ready to go. So that's the important thing. The mental aspect of the game, and I know 90% of this game is mental. Everything post snap and pre-snap and the other stuff that goes on. Aiming about 4 seconds of actual knocking somebody out. So we got to make sure mentally these guys are set and ready to go.
So when you talk mental, it's funny you said that, because we talked about that last year when I said, for me, the mental reps are more important than the physical reps, right? Because the mental reps is understanding not only your place, your position, your role, but also understanding the other 10 people around you to make sure you understand what their job responsibilities are. Because then it also helps you, especially as a special player, whether you're running back or receiver, right? Knowing what the offensive line's blocking scheme is important to you, not just where the ball is supposed to go, because you understand who is supposed to be the free man, who may be a roaming individual that may be loose. So the mindset in regards to the mental preparation of the game transcends to the physical preparation.
100%. And and that goes with following the instructions, having
Yeah,
the right mindset, but follow the instructions that you've been given throughout the week and learning to prepare. And again, that's why I always say fall in love with the process. It's not about the actual result of what's going on. You have to fall in love with the process. And the thing I keep telling these guys, and I told them again yesterday, and I think you and I talked about it, do simple things better.
yeah,
It ain't got to be extravagant about what we're doing. Let's just do simple things better. And that's what we want to see right now, being able to do the fundamentals. Because when you get tired, when your body gets worn out, you always have to go back to your basic technique, your basic fundamentals, which is going to keep you sustained throughout the game. And those are the things that are
yeah,
important. So giving them the proper instructions during the week of how we want this run, how we want that run, how we want this to fit, how we want that to fit, how we want to make sure we're vicing tackles so we're not missing tackles. All those things are essential when it comes to sustaining a football game and sustaining a drive when you're on offense and stopping a
yeah.
drive when you're on defense. So again, but it all goes back to post-game reads after everything's over, then pre-snap reads and when things are about to begin. So making sure those pre-snap reads and those post-snap reads are extremely important and doing the things in between that we need to do.
Talk about the injury report. How does the injury look? How does the injury list look this week?
We look good. I mean, that's the positive thing about it. We don't have a whole lot of guys down. Some of the guys had nicks here, nicks there, but pretty much like I said, the guys that started last game are going to start this game. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we're good when it comes to that. And again, I'm also looking for those guys that showed up last week. The Tyvon Edmonds, the Cole Mitchells, those guys that showed up. I'm looking for them to show up bigger. I'm looking for Noah to come back, and Jamar
Yeah.
Shagog and Henry, and I'm looking for see if we can get Carter something else because we got a little special gift for him. So we'll see how that works out for him and make sure he's doing what he's supposed to do. He may play a little nickel, do something a little bit different so we can get him in a position to get another pick. I don't know if it's going to be as extravagant as it was in the first one, but as long as he can get one, that's all I
Right.
care about more than anything else.
How's his hand?
Well, it's broken. His finger's
Mm,
broken. His hand, but
mm.
his index finger is broken. So, and it came down to, hey, you can play with it, or you can you can go ahead and go get it taken care of, get surgery on
Right.
it. Like, now, coach, I'm gonna play with it and just play through it. And
Yeah.
the doctor said it may end up healing itself. He's just gonna buddy tape it, and he's ready to go. So, again, this is his senior year, man. I don't see him wanting to sit out and not be a part of this thing. He's gonna play and get through the thing.
So when we talk about last week, right, we talked about one of the things you alluded to was you said you want to see more from your passing game. Even though Ticket, was 22, I think, for 30 something. He threw for 177 yards, one touchdown, one interception. What
Mm-hmm.
is it that you want to see more of in that regard from them?
To be totally honest with you, it's more about I want to see the running game set up the passing game, and I want to see Noah get the ball more. I want to
Okay.
see, I want to see the guys that we brought in, the Sean Charles and Carl Smith and our guys that were here, the James Westries and the, Terrell Ridges. I want to see those guys get the ball. I want to make sure
Okay.
we're ditching the ball where we need to get it at and distributing it, and the quarterback seeing the reads he needs to see, taking a drop down pass when he needs it, or a dump down pass when he needs it. So those are things I want to see. I want to see the distribution and the decisions made a little bit better when it comes to the passing game. That's what I talk about. And again, the running game setting it up. And also, the check downs to the back out of the backfield are extremely important because I feel like we have some backs that can make some things happen when they get the ball in their hands.
Talk about the gift of having multiple special players. When you talk about the wide receiver or the running back position, when you have multiple players that can actually get the job done, but you have a committee of them.
I tell you this, it's a gift when all those guys understand that it's one football. And that's
Yeah.
that's what's been a great gift. All these guys understand there's one football. We all can't have it. So when the ball has been handed off, our receivers are blocking phenomenal. They did it throughout training camp. They blocked their butts off. When it's time to run downfield and block for a guy, when he catches a pass or catches a screen, our running backs are doing that. Our O-line's doing that. Other receivers are doing that. There's only one football. And that's the gift that we have. We have a bunch of guys who are unselfish and willing to do what it takes to win football games.
When we talk about last week, we talked about some missed tackles. Have you seen an urgency in the players communicating with each other throughout practice if a tackle was missed to encourage each other more?
I have. I mean, the thing about it, we do what's called, we can't go full tackle because you don't want to get anybody hurt, but we do what's called thud, where you are wrapping the guy up, you wrap him up, hold on, then let him go. You don't take him to the ground. So we've been doing thuds. We've been having guys, not only coaches yelling, hey, man, it's thud, but also the players yelling, "Hey, the stud, man, let's wrap the guy up. Let's stop tapping
Yeah.
off. Make sure we understand that." And the other thing, and I've said it to you, the sideline has never missed a tackle. There's nothing wrong with just pushing the guy out of bounds. Just push him out of bounds. And they ain't no big deal. If he's by the sideline, don't try to make a big hit. Just push him out of bounds. I mean, the sideline's never missed a tackle. So understand, like I said, the purpose of tackling. No such thing as a perfect tackle, but there's a perfect way to tackle. So let's make sure we get him on the ground and make sure we wrap him up, grab cloth, keep our eyes up, and do the things we need to do. So there has been emphasis to answer your question, and the guys have been on each other about doing those things.
It's funny, thud it up. I'm not used to that because we just went full speed all the time. It was no thud it up. It was no light speed tackle or hand tackle. We was blasting each other every practice. But
we got a young recruit in town. I can't mention his name, but we got a young recruit in town, and he was asking me, "Coach, what was your hardest day?" And I was explaining to him what our practice were with 2 a days. He said, "Coach, that's crazy." I said, "I didn't tell you it was right." I said, "But that's what we did."
That was crazy. Right.
Well, you got to remember, young guys now, most guys have no idea what 2 a days are.
They don't even know what a 3 a day is. Forget a 2 a day.
Yeah, they have no idea.
They have no idea what it's like to be in high school and go to the school early in the morning, go to practice, get done with practice, eat, go into the cheerleader dance room, rest, relax, do board work, go back out for practice, come back in, get some treatment, then go back out for a later practice. And then guess what? There was no, "Coach, I don't feel like going this practice." There was no, "It's too hot." There was no, "It's too cold." There was no, "Oh, it's raining too hard." There was none of that.
Nope, absolutely none of it. And the crazy thing, you say that because his mom was like, I was telling his mom all this stuff because she was sitting there with us, and she said, "I guarantee you, at no point in time did you get to go to the ozone area when it got too hot and got mist blown on you because it was getting too hot." I said, "Ozone layer." But
we had smelly salt.
And again, I tell my guys all the time, I said, "Guys, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just telling you how it was done. It's simple. That's just how it was done." One time, when I'll never forget, when I was in college, it was so hot out, I lost 13 pounds in one practice.
Man, it'd be like that.
And it was right back out there the next day. It wasn't no, "Oh, you cramped up yesterday."
Okay. Right. Wasn't no heat exhaustion. Wasn't no, "Mama said I can't come because it was too hot yesterday."
And again, I'm not saying it was right. I'm just telling you that's how it was done. And as technology goes and as everything goes on, obviously we know things change and certain things. But again, that's just how it was. But at the same time, I don't think that should make them soft.
Yeah.
Just because times have changed, you should still be the same tough, because the toughness of football is never going to change.
Not at all.
You can try to change the rules. You can try to do that. It's going to always be organized violence because that's what football is.
Because we talk about missed tackles, right? Do you think that the examples that the highest professional football league plays, do you think that these guys, even though you teach it, they look back to, because I was watching the Thursday night game with the Ravens and the Chiefs, and the most clearest possible bad technique, no tackle, head down, not looking at the target, was when Likely was running on the sideline and he just basically stops and the defender runs right past him. But when the defender runs past him, his head is down, so he can't see his target to even see that his target has stopped. And he's the only, like, how do you combat with those type of teachings from them watching the game and then or them coming up, because you see professional players at times come up, go for the pop, not the wrap. They go for the pop, the hard hit. They bounce off, and the offensive players going the other way.
You can't, and that's why I tell people tackling isn't just bad at the lowest level of Pee Wee. It's bad at the highest level in the NFL. So it's something you got to constantly harp on. Something you got to constantly tell them. You got to grab cloth. You got to see your target. You got to keep your head up. You're constantly reinforcing those techniques on a regular basis because of that stuff like that. Like you just said, I mean, not only did the guy miss him going out, he jumped over a guy before that went low on it. So it's a situation where that guy also had his head down and his eyes closed. He wasn't looking at his target. So and so that's the crazy thing. So you're absolutely right. There are bad techniques all over the place. But then you also have the linebackers. I was watching a college game. I can't remember the college game I was watching. Oh, BYU and SMU last night, and the linebacker for BYU was smacking people, head up,
Hey,
eyes up, hitting his target. So you
yeah,
have those guys who are tackling properly, but you're also guys who tackle horrible, and it
yeah.
becomes an epidemic. There's no doubt about it.
Coach, I wanna add something too. Last year, you guys averaged, like, when I talk about the football team as a whole, you guys were averaging 3.0s in classroom. I also want to say, because they're students first before athletes. So, I also wanted to commend you guys again, going into this school year, because I know that the excellence in the classroom is something that's dire and important to you before it even transcends to the football field. Because if you
Yes,
don't have the grades, you can't even step on the field.
not at
So
all.
shout out to you guys for the intentional progress and thoughts, and making sure that that's priority, and then the football is after.
Yeah, that's 100%. And our academic advisor, Bonnie Ventura, I'm sorry, Bonaventure. Danny does a great job with our guys and making sure that he stays on top of them. And he even told me a certain thing, like freshmen come in and freshmen get 8 hours of study hall per week, period. As you're a freshman, 8 hours of study hall. Now, after that first semester, if you're over 3.5, we'll drop your study hours to 4. But if you're under 3.0, you're staying at 8 hours. So
Yeah,
we fluctuated some things, but we also put into the fact that if you're a junior or a sophomore and you're not above a 3.0 yet, you're going to still have some study hall hours, because we think it's important that you do what you need to do in the classroom. Like we've always said, and I've always told you, you're going to get kicked out of Robert Morris for not going to class long before you're going to get kicked out for not being a good football player.
okay,
Because I always tell people, when you evaluate film, you watch that young man on high school film, and you bring him in here to be a part of your football team, and he doesn't pan out to be the player you thought he was going to be, but that's on you as a coach. You're the one who
yeah,
evaluates that more than anything else. But if he's not going to class, if he's not doing what he's supposed to do, if he's not passing his classes, that's on him as a young man. So we got to make sure we're staying on top of him, but he has to be responsible and understand the responsibility of going to class, of studying for tests, of taking the study hall hours, of getting the tutoring that he needs. He's responsible for that, but you're responsible for
yeah,
evaluating that film and making sure that he's the player he needs to be. And if he's not, that's on you as a coach. If that young man's doing what he's supposed to do, taking care of
mm-hmm,
his business, going to class, busting his behind on the field, but he's just not good, then that's on the coach. I mean, he's just not a good football player, but that's on the coach. That's not on the young man. And
well,
that's
like I
my opinion.
said, Coach,
That's totally
I
my
feel
opinion.
I feel good about today, man. Shout out to my guys, DJ Moyer. I feel something. I don't know why DJ been in me, man. So shout out to my man DJ Moyer. Shout out to Anthony. Anthony, I need about 250 today. You know what I'm saying? Noah, I need you to be you. And Jamar, I need a couple sacks. That's all.
You know,
That's it.
the great thing about it, the guys you named, I mean, we got a core of running backs that I really like. With DJ Moyer, Tyvon Edmonds,
Yeah.
Delvecchio Powell, and Julian White, and those guys. I mean, those guys are going to do some great things for us, and just some of the weapons we have, and putting that O line together. Like I said, we lost some pieces, so we're trying to put some pieces together, and
Mm-hmm.
those other guys are slowly coming back. So when they come back, it's going to be strong too. So we're excited about our football team, and we're going to go out here and do what we need to do and have a good showing today. So let's go, Bobby
You
Moe.
already know what it is. It's your boy Pitts, Pitt Sports Zone, Pitts and Foot Sports Talk Radio. It's going down. Listen, if you're in the Pittsburgh area, today, 6 p.m., watch y'all go ahead and join Robert Morris University at Joe Walton Stadium. You will not miss a beat. You will enjoy a football atmosphere. And look, it's on top of the hill. You can just oversee the whole Coraopolis area.
Absolutely.
Hey, good luck today, Coach, man. Good luck, Robert Morris. I can't wait to hear the results, but I already know, because the way I felt today, it's victory day for me, baby. Let's get it.
Sounds good to me. Take care, Pitch, my man. Take a good one. Have a good one.
Yeah, yeah.